This little fox demon was named Ji. When he was very young, the elders checked him and found that he could draw in spiritual energy, but it couldn't enter his body, which meant he was a useless being who couldn't cultivate. For Ji, it was basically a life sentence. He would never be able to cultivate like others. Even so, Ji refused to give up. He meditated day and night, read at all hours, hoping hard work might bring results. Maybe, just maybe, a miracle would happen. But miracles were miracles after all, watching other young demon beasts cultivate and advance every day. To him, it was a gulf he could never cross. So Ji became the odd one out in the demon clan. It also made every interaction with others increasingly painful. Gradually, Ji learned to enjoy solitude. He kept telling himself, being alone is fine. Being alone feels good. But even he couldn't fool himself. When no one was around, he would roar at the ants. Being alone is so lonely, so empty. I even want to become an ant. At least ants always have companions. Just then, someone walked out of the bamboo forest, a green-haired youth. He walked over, saying, "Someone wants to turn into an ant? You're interesting. If you're that lonely, why not stay with your own kind?" Hearing this, Zui lowered his head and muttered, "No one will like me. I'm the bottom of the pack. I'm terrible at cultivation." By now, the green-haired youth had reached him. "And besides that, surely you have other strengths, don't you?" As he spoke, he brushed aside Zi's bangs, praising, "You're really cute. Covering your face like that is such a waste." Zi had never been complimented before. His face flushed instantly, and even his words became stuttered. The green-haired youth ruffled Zi's hair. "If you ever feel lonely, I'll come play with you, all right?" And so, Zi gained his first friend. Mini theater. At that moment, a black-haired teenager stormed over, grumbling, "So I heard I had no appearance in this chapter, and you immediately went and flirted with a wild man?" He slammed his hand beside Zi's head, pinning him to the wall. "I also heard," he said through gritted teeth, "that this wild man was my older brother's first love." Zi laughed awkwardly, guilty as charged. What happened next could be summarized in two poetic lines. Old tales unraveled, clothing loosened to heal the imprisoned, Qin Lianzi opens his heart, inviting you to roam within. Such cultured wording. A round of applause for myself. What nonsense is he spouting? We are engaging in serious mutual enlightenment and cultivation, thank you very much. One thought becomes obsession. Let go of obsession, and all pain dissolves. Freedom is born. This was how Zie got his name. Ever since the green-haired youth appeared, the two often met and chatted. Because he was called cute, Zie began to learn how to groom himself, walking further and further down the path of the charming fox demon. Ah yes, our Zi became better and better at dressing up. Everything seemed like it would continue that way until that day. Zi waited for the green-haired youth in the bamboo forest as usual. He paced around for a long time, but didn't see even a hint of him. The next day, still no sign. On the third day, Zi decided to transform back into his true fox form and go to Yunqi's sect to search for him. When he arrived, he overheard two young Taoist disciples chatting. Apparently, a prodigy had arrived at the sect. 11 years old and already able to draw energy into his body. Extremely diligent, but cold and not very sociable. It was Ji's first time in Yunqi's sect. Seeing the place filled with human disciples made him excited. Then he remembered his mission, find the green-haired youth. So he returned to his fox form, began chanting softly, "Boundless heavens, 10,000-mile tracking." Sure enough, whoosh, he locked onto the green-haired youth's location. When he finally found him, the green-haired youth was playing with a cat demon. Zi's first thought was relief. So he's not sick. But the moment he called out to him, what he saw was the two of them chatting intimately. A master and contracted demon, perfectly harmonious. Even Ji, slow as he was, knew exactly what that meant. His excitement instantly sank into something bitter. The green-haired youth hurried over. "Zi, why are you here?" Zi awkwardly replied, "You haven't come to the bamboo forest for days, so I came to check." The green-haired youth admitted without hesitation, Sorry, I didn't know you were waiting. I've been busy training with my contracted demon. The meaning was obvious. No time to bother with Z. He added, I met the cat demon at the martial arts tournament a few days ago. We clicked, so we made a contract. The cat demon even waved at Z, friendly, polite, and painfully out of place. Z hadn't expected him to find a contract partner so quickly. The conversation spiraled into awkwardness. The green-haired youth realized something was off and said, Sorry. But what came after that stabbed Z far deeper. Contracts are important for cultivation. You need to think carefully, and you should focus more on cultivating, not on dressing up. These ridiculous words, had it been anyone else, Z would have slapped him. Z's face grew pale until tears nearly fell. Yet the green-haired youth looked utterly confused. Z forced a smile. Thank you. I'll try harder. Try harder? As if he hadn't been trying his whole life? He had meditated tirelessly, studied endlessly, and this man thought he wasn't trying. You dare lecture me? Ji returned to his little bamboo grove. He replayed every word the green-haired youth said. Maybe he would never find a contract partner. Maybe it was shameless of him to have believed he could form a bond with the green-haired youth. In the end, he blamed himself. He was too weak. Staring at his own palms, he remembered those hurtful words again. His vision blurred, and tears fell one by one. I worked so hard. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do anything right? And he burst into loud sobs. Life was never perfect. Regret existed everywhere. What happened next? A fox demon suddenly kissing an innocent young Taoist? Was this the downfall of fox morals or the collapse of human ethics? Allow me to continue narrating this dramatic ancient Xianxia, full of tears and fantasy. Little Taoist, give in to the fox demon already. Ji's heartbreaking cries drew a young Taoist who had been cultivating nearby. Seeing someone there, Ji quickly swallowed back his sobs. The young Taoist himself had communication difficulties. He awkwardly said, Sorry, this place was quiet. I thought no one was here, so I came to cultivate. Ji didn't even know how to respond. Sensing awkwardness, the young Taoist added, I heard a little, but I won't tell anyone. Ji snapped back to reality and quickly waved his hands. No, it's okay. I was too noisy. The young Taoist bowed politely. Then I won't disturb you. And he left. By the time Ji reacted, the boy was already gone. Realizing he was alone again, his sadness welled up once more. But just as tears formed, the young Taoist suddenly ran back. Hey, are you all right? Ji blinked, then instantly wailed again. My goodness, this child is so gentle. How can anyone hold back tears at a time like this? Ji poured out everything that had happened. Though embarrassed, he felt much lighter afterward. The young Taoist asked, So you really want to form a contract? Ji's eyes lit up with longing. I've always dreamed of a contract, two beings supporting each other. I want to be someone's strength, too. The young Taoist went quiet for a moment, then said softly, When I become an adult, I'll form a contract with you. Ji froze. I already said, I can't cultivate. Even if we form a contract, I might not be any use. Meaning, I would be a burden. But the young Taoist didn't care. I can rely on myself. I never planned to form a contract with any demon beast anyway. But if when I grow up you still don't have a contract partner, I'll form one with you. Ji was completely stunned. Happiness hit him like lightning. Seeing him speechless, the young Taoist added, You said you wanted mutual support. You can try that. With me. Ji was touched, but after what happened with the green-haired youth, he no longer dared trust promises so easily. Even so, the boy's kindness made him smile the brightest smile. Thank you, he said. From that day on, the young Taoist came every day to meditate here, and Zhi always stayed by his side. When bored, he would call him Little Immortal, and sometimes tease him with his fluffy tail. The focused young Taoist was annoyed by the distractions and decided to cultivate elsewhere. Zhui naturally refused to let his playmate run away. He transformed into his fox form, wrapped his tail around the boy, and whispered nonstop, I was wrong. I was wrong. Don't leave, okay? It's so lonely alone. The young Taoist was completely defeated. Fine, 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 I'll stay. Just be quiet. As time passed, Zi's thoughts drifted again. How did someone his age become so mature? If he keeps this up, won't he become a block of wood someday? Then a mischievous idea popped up. He decided to try it. He leaned quietly onto the boy's shoulder and planted a kiss on him. Oh heavens, it was so sweet. My inner maiden heart nearly exploded. The young Taoist's reaction was far beyond what Ji expected. He thought the boy would get angry, but instead, his face turned bright red, his breath unsteady. And suddenly, it didn't seem like things were going in a bad direction at all.